From world-famous Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York, it's the U.S. Handball Association's 46th annual One-Wall National Handball Championships. This is Ben Thumb, along with my colleague, 9-time National One-Wall Singles Champion Joe Durso, bringing you the world's best handball action of the year, featuring such one-wall greats as Satish Jagnandan, Robert Sastre, Pee Wee Castro, Tony Roberts, Rookie Wright, Tracy Davis, and Teresa McCourt. One-wall handball seems like a simplified ball game. Only a wall and a ball are required. The server hits the ball to the receiver, and the receiver must return the ball to the front wall before it bounces twice. Sound simple? Maybe on the surface. But underneath those easy rules lies an extremely athletic game with a premium placed on smarts, stamina, speed, and eye-hand coordination. In just a moment, the world's best single-wall handball players will come out shooting.
Good shot! No hold you crazy.
Hold up, baby. Okay, plays in. 1 play 16.
Pee Wee has tremendous power, as you can see in these volleys. Their right hands are comparable. Satish's left is more fluid. His left has more power. Both have equal foot speed. Both have equal stamina. In the volley, they're about even. As you can see, no one's really dominating these volleys. They're even here. The difference is the serve. Satish can get up and run 7-8 points, whereas Pee Wee has to earn each point one at a time. That puts a lot of pressure on. Okay, Pee Wee just made 1 point, but look what he had to do to make that 1 point. He had to hit 20 shots to make the 1 point.
He had to work for it.
Satish makes the 1 point in a second. He just flicks his wrist, the ball goes over the short line, and he's made his point.
Right.
That's the difference between these two players.
Nice, baby! One more!
And welcome back to the second game of the men's national singles final. Before the action continues, let's roll tape on a pre-match interview with Brooklyn Borough President Marty Markowitz.
Oh, you got your fans everywhere, Don Juan.
Mayor of New York,
I'm telling you.
There we go.
I featured Joe at my State of the Borough. You know, he's the Don Juan of handball here in Brooklyn.
We're talking with Marty Markowitz, the borough president of Brooklyn, here at the One-Wall National Championships. Marty, you grew up in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. As a matter of fact, so did I, and that's probably where you played your first handball, right?
Without a question. It was at PS 91. And then a couple parks in the area in Crown Heights, absolutely. And, you know, playing handball when I was growing up, it was Brooklyn sports. And I'm happy to say it is today, too.
It really is, and I think part of that is the fact that there are so many courts around. There's no other place in the United States that has as many courts as Brooklyn and the other boroughs. And I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about that. Do you know anything about the history of...
Well, I mean, listen, handball was and is Brooklyn sports. And I know there are other places in the country that enjoy it too, but Brooklyn is the Mecca, as we discussed earlier. So when they built the parks, they had that in mind, to have enough walls for young people and mature people to play. And let's face it, it's an inexpensive sport. It doesn't require a hell of a lot of expensive equipment, and you can play it in most weather. It doesn't require any special extra attention that most often Parks Department can't provide. And of course, my dream is to see this location somewhere around here really elevate the sport, and to have a sort of like a stadium with permanent seating, so that people can watch the players and enjoy the game rather than just sitting like you see now. Have something like a semicircle amphitheater, which is something we'll work on in the future.
So when are you going to become mayor of New York, and we can have more political juice for that?
Listen, why would I want to be mayor at this time when I could be president? I'm president of Brooklyn. How much better can it get? At least in my profession.
That's a good
but the good news is that, you know, handball really defines Brooklyn for all these years, and will. And the good news is you see a lot of young people enjoying the sport. And one thing for sure, you could look at me right now. Let me do sideways. Now, I didn't look like this when I played handball when I was younger. So I want everybody out there that looks like me to understand that this is a great sport, and it's good for your health, too.
Thank you so much, Marty.
Okay, thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you. Marty Markowitz,
Welcome.
Brooklyn Borough President. Thank you very much. And our thanks to Marty Markowitz for joining us.
Well, Pee Wee succumbed to the triple barrage of power, serves, and kills that Satish offered him up for breakfast this morning.
In the first game?
Yes. Pee Wee has to somehow try to get Satish out of that rhythm, that serve and kill rhythm. He's got to get him out of it. And he's got to do that in one of two ways. He's got to do it either physically, right, by not allowing Satish to do it, right, or somehow psychologically, where he's got to get him angry or get him upset or get him somewhere where he's not comfortable. He has both an opportunity and an obstacle here, where he has to somehow overcome the physical barrage that Satish is laying out here. And this is what the champion is made of. This is a chance for Pee Wee to show championship caliber here. He can show greatness. Okay, we're starting the second game. Like I said, Satish has a tremendous psychological advantage, having won the first game. He's got a tremendous physical advantage, knowing when he gets up, he's got that serve as a weapon. So he's got a lot of tools here to really cripple Pee Wee with. What does Pee Wee have? Pee Wee has the heart of a lion. The heart of a lion. I call Pee Wee the Bruce Lee of handball. Bruce Lee was 110 pounds, and he was the most feared man on the planet. Pee Wee is maybe the shortest, lightest, skinniest kid playing ball today in the top 5, let's say, and he just keeps coming. He took that beating from Satish. He didn't really crack, you know. Satish beat him, but he didn't conquer. Exactly. He didn't hurt him psychologically.
And part of that might be the fact that he's got this great mobility on the court.
No, he hops around like a rabbit. In other words, he's like that Roadrunner cartoon. You know, he can get to any ball, and what he does very effectively, at the last second, he'll skip and take it righty. You know, so he's always offensive on the shot, and he has tremendous power I would say pound for pound, he's the hardest hitter in handball today.
Is that right?
Yes. He hits as hard as rookie, and rookie's a 220-pound animal.
That was a sensational effort by Pee Wee Castro. Satish makes a great shot with his left hand, a shot that most players would have no chance of even getting to. But with Pee Wee's speed and anticipation, he not only got to it, but with skill and presence of mind, he was able to turn a defensive shot into an offensive kill shot.
We're going to see now if Satish can take what Pee Wee can dish out. Now it's 4-0 Pee Wee's. That's an interesting development. Fortunately for Pee Wee, he was able to serve first. He got up, he made 4 points. He hasn't had to face Satish's serve. So now he's luckily or skillfully made 4 points. And that puts pressure on Satish. So this is going to be interesting to see if Satish can now summon within himself, right, the willpower to get him down and make up those 4 points. Now again, in the first game, Pee Wee had to suffer and endure Satish's barrage. Now we'll see if Satish can take Pee Wee's barrage. Let's see what Satish is made of psychologically, right?
Right.
Because
10 seconds.
what's happening here, it's Satish's title, right? He owns it right now.
Right.
It's Pee Wee's job to take it away. If Pee Wee loses, he's not losing anything. He doesn't have the title.
Right.
So he can play a little more loose. I mean, he's happy to make the finals. He's in the doubles. He's floating around.
Sure.
It's Satish's to lose, you see? And that puts pressure on you. When you're the best player, you're supposed to win, right? So in a paradoxical way, it's Satish who has more pressure.
That was a very good shot.
Now, you see the difference. Pee Wee's winning 4-0. He was able to go for that because he has a little lead. He's looser. You see, he's not as afraid.
Right.
Okay? Okay, now that was an ace serve.
Beautiful. 6.
Look at that left. Look at that left.
Wow! Satish slams a sharply angled ball from outside the foul line. And once again, Pee Wee Castro puts on a display of athletic handball brilliance on the run and converts what for most players will be a defensive shot into a spectacular diving kill shot. This is why Pee Wee Castro ranks among the best one-wall handball players on the planet.
Satish knows that this is critical right here. If he gets down and Pee Wee makes a few more points, he is in a world of trouble. He has to make 3 or 4 points here.
It's a point.
It's a very subtle ballet here, what's going on. It's a very subtle equilibrium that can be easily tipped one way or the other.
Joe, these guys look so fit. Well, it doesn't look like there's an ounce of fat on them.
Listen, again, you know, they're playing singles, doubles, most of them. It was 97 degrees out here the other day. Any fat you have at the beginning of the tournament gets burned away. One of the players was taken to the hospital in Florida. Another player was taken to the hospital here yesterday. It's very humid. Plus, handball is such a demanding sport, it keeps you in shape regardless. In other words, there's very few overweight or heavy handball players. It just burns the fat away.
Oh, I feel that.
Now, Satish felt his serve was good and that it crossed over the short line before hitting the ground. So he's appealing to referee Joe Kaplan, who is also a top player and a former national singles champion. And Joe is now conferring with his linesman, and he'll make a ruling on the appeal.
The ball is short. 3 short, 2 good. Ball is short. You have a fault.
Because Pee Wee plays in all of these money games and these big ball games, he's always gambling. Pee Wee has, I don't want to say more courage, but he has a tremendous comfort playing in clutch, tight situations. Satish is a little different. Satish is, he doesn't play for money, you understand? In other words, Pee Wee will come down to the park and he'll play anybody, any amount of money. He doesn't care, right? Satish doesn't do that. Satish doesn't play for money. He, you know, plays in the tournaments, but I think he's a little more protective of himself. You understand?
8, play 0.
In shorts.
Now that was a very bad mistake by Pee Wee. In other words, the ball was coming at Pee Wee. He was supposed to get out of the way. Instead, he held the position. He let himself get hit by the ball. There was no need for that to happen. All right, that was a careless error. It let Satish up. It let Satish up without him having to hit anything.
Point.
There is
You can't let a guy like Satish up. You don't want that. Now, he's got 2 quick points, you see? If he makes 2 or 3 more, now it's an even game, and Pee Wee's advantage is gone.
Ben Thumb and Joe Durso with you in the second game of the USHA One-Wall Singles National Championship in Coney Island, Brooklyn. Satish Chiknandan in the white shirt is the current champion, and Pee Wee Castro is a former national champion. Pee Wee went out to an early 9-0 lead, but Satish has been chipping away steadily and has climbed back into this game.
That was definitely psychological. He missed the last 2 shots. That was fear. Okay.
6 plays 9.
Neither one of these players has won the one wall many times. Satish only won it once. Pee-wee only won it once. So they're both a little afraid here. You understand? In other words, you're going to see some errors. That's a great shot.
Now here in slow motion, we see Satish making a weak return of a hard, well-placed shot by Castro. That gives Pee-wee a chance to set up for a kill shot, and he converts it.
He's got 2 serves.
That was a great serve.
Great serve.
That was a great serve.
Nobody home on that one.
Well, that's why Pee-wee has the pressure. He's afraid of that serve. He doesn't want to be in the long line facing that kind of angle. Again, Pee-wee's left is not that good, too. So that serve going to Pee-wee's left, that's deadly. That's like a fighter taking these hard kidney punches. I mean, you just can't survive many of them. See, Satish smells blood now. You see his confidence level just came up. Now he's going back into automatic pilot.
And those were 3 serves that were exactly the same.
He can do that all day. In other words, the beauty about serving is that nothing is moving. The wall is not moving. The floor is not moving. You have the ball. So you can create the exact condition over and over. It's like bowling. In other words, you can just keep doing it. See, now he's back into his comfort zone. That was a great shot by Pee-wee.
Oh, and there's a costly hand error by Pee-wee Castro. He mishit the ball badly, sending it out of bounds on the left side of the court and allowing Satish to tie things up at 11-all.
The psychological tide has shifted here. Obviously now Satish is smelling blood. He's back in his zone. Pee-wee is now tight. Okay, Pee-wee's afraid now. Pee-wee had an opportunity. He squandered it. He had him 5-0, and then he had him 9-5, and he wasn't able to capitalize. In other words, he just stalled at that point. He let Satish regroup. That was great. That was a great volley. That's what I'm talking about, Pee-wee. Pee-wee is not afraid. That was a tremendous volley.
And here in the replay, you see Pee-wee taking a rare shot for him, an underhand left from deep left court, which landed softly at the bottom of the front wall. Satish, with great speed, gets to it, but manages a weak return, which allows Pee-wee to hit a perfect pass shot to end the rally and gain back the serve.
That was bad. Pee-wee had to make that shot.
Didn't look like he missed it by that much.
Well, you know, obviously you don't have to miss it by that much, but that took a lot of that took a big toll out of Pee-wee right there. Pee-wee knows he can't let this guy up. The guy is dangerous.
In a way, it's a game of millimeters, isn't it, Joe?
Yes, yes. Because the A players, the better players, if they miss, they're only going to miss by a fraction anyway. In other words, it's very rare to see a guy just totally miss.
And the difference between a kill shot, which rolls out flat, and a ball that skips in, that's bad. There's not much difference there, is there?
No, it could be literally a millimeter. But Pee-wee didn't need to kill that ball. In other words, Pee-wee really just needed to smash it to the left side. So it was like maybe an inappropriate shot. Okay, Pee-wee got to end this volley right here. That's no good. That's a good shot. That's a tremendous shot. You see the left of Satish? Incredible. You see the left. Pee-wee does not have that left. Pee-wee would have to stiff arm it, punch it. That's a big advantage that Satish has, and of course he has the serve. So it's a credit to Pee-wee that it's even close this game. That was too bad. That was too bad. Okay, it's 13-11. Pee-wee's doing his job. He's in the game. He's got Satish a little bit off his stride here. So he's doing his job. He's doing what he has to do.
Satish just hit a great shot into the right corner.
It was a great shot, but it was an easy shot. He didn't have to move. It was to his right. Pee-wee didn't do enough.
Oh.
You see, that's the problem. You can't let Satish up. He's too good.
And that serve is just pure murder, Joe.
Well, you know, it's an inch off the ground. It's angling. And even if you got it back, okay, Pee-wee got the last one back. He got this one back. But look at the trouble he's in. He never recovered from the serve.
Right.
So even if you get it back, you're still in big, big trouble.
Your balance point is off, and it's hard to get back for the next shot.
Well, you're all twisted up on your left ankle, and he's got that beautiful left where he can just come in and just angle it or smash it. You don't want to be in a position where you're praying to God that your opponent misses. That's not where you want to be. You know what I mean? And that's where Satish puts you. In other words, he puts you where you just got to hope he misses. Now, again, the tide is shifted here again in Satish's favor. Pee-wee put up great resistance, but he didn't do enough. He didn't overcome Satish. He stopped him. He halted him, right? He fought him even, but that's not good enough because now we see Satish is coming back again, and Satish won the first game. There's only 7 points left here, right? So there's a rapidly diminishing window of opportunity for Pee-wee to win this game.
Right. We're also seeing Juan Carlos, number 80 there with the Jerry Rice shirt, giving a little piece of advice to Pee-wee Castro.
Well, Mr. Carlos, I would compare him to the Don King of handball. He is a promoter, a businessman, a raconteur, a very handsome gentleman. Handball is lucky to have a benefactor like him to support these young kids. Most of these kids, you know, they don't have a lot of money. They're so he's doing a great thing, you know. I mean, he's doing really what the government should be doing. You understand what I'm saying? Which is sponsoring these kids, keeping them off the streets. In other words, if he gives a kid a package of gloves and some uniform, that's a big thing for a kid. Believe me.
Well,
in other words, that's the thing that sometimes maybe even their fathers never did for them. You understand what I'm saying?
Well, he's not only doing that, but he's also putting together tournaments in Florida with very large purses, something that handball has not seen in the past.
He's doing the Lord's work. I'm going to dedicate my next killer to him. There's no doubt about it. This kid Satish, he's just got too many offensive weapons, and nobody seems to be able to beat him. Not only Pee-wee, nobody, you know. So that's the deal. I might have to come out of retirement and punish this fool. I just might have to do it.
We'd love to see that, Joe, and we'll have our cameras there.
What do you think, guys?
You've won the singles 9 times, and you've also won the doubles 6 times, right?
I won the doubles 7 times. I won the doubles 2 years ago with Pee-wee, by the way. That was a great shot, a tremendous shot. Now again, Pee-wee could easily just fold here and give in and just give up. But Pee-wee has the heart of a lion. He's not going to give up. Great shot. Satish has to win this game. Pee-wee will not lose the game.
Explain to the folks at home what just happened there.
Well, Pee-wee was able to hit the ball and block it legally, where Satish couldn't reach it and couldn't see it. You're allowed to do that. In other words, you're allowed to hide the ball with your body. But it's a very tricky thing to do because it might hit you.
Right. Which it did hit Pee-wee a little earlier.
Right. Okay, we're having a very nice volley here. That was a tremendous shot by Satish. Now again, Satish was way back in the left corner. He was able to angle kill the ball softly in the right corner with like a feather touch. That shows that Satish is comfortable. Because he wouldn't have went for that shot if he wasn't comfortable. Right. He would have just drove it up the middle. Again, look at that beautiful left by Satish.
Oh, there's a hand error.
Well, Pee-wee has pressure on him. He lost the first game. He's losing the second.
13 plays 14.
That pressure made him miss that shot. As great as Pee-wee's courage is, he's not immortal. He's not a machine. He's going to miss due to the pressure. That was a tremendous serve. That was a super get by Pee Wee.
Great get.
Super get. You see that left by Satish?
I'm just amazed at the mobility that Pee Wee Castro has on a handball court. That was sensational, both those games.
I submit to you that that athletic event of getting that ball back is just as good as any other athletic event in sports, okay? I don't care what Tiger Woods does. I don't care what anybody else does. That was as good as it's going to get in sports. And it's a shame that the world can't appreciate these great athletes.
I couldn't agree with you more, Joe.
I mean, look at what's going on here.
It's a great athletic competition.
I would rather watch this than any basketball game or football game or anything else. This is great human drama, great physical prowess here being displayed.
It's sort of like two gladiators.
Yes, yes it is. Yes, it is. It's boxing without the blood and the carnage and the death. You understand? In other words, it's like the best elements of boxing without the worst.
Exactly. And it's also a very underrated sport, I think. And the game's top players, like Satish Jagnandan here, have some of the same athletic gifts of a boxer or even a pro football player.
Football is a great sport. However, there's only 5 minutes of playing time in a football game. The rest is commercials and bimbos jumping around.
Time's in.
That was a great get. Great get by Satish. Right, he wants that call, but he's not going to get it. Okay, we've seen for the first time these two players actually talk to each other.
What was going on there in that exchange, Joe?
I believe Pee Wee said he hit Satish on the backswing, which is an automatic block. Pee Wee must win this volley if he wants to win this game. That was not good. It's 19-14. Super shot, superhuman shot. Absolutely, that was a great shot under a lot of pressure. It's easy for him to just give up at this point. You understand? Psychologically, it's easy just to give up. But Pee Wee, I've never seen him give up 1 point in his life.
14-19.
Now he must obviously make a few points here. Pee Wee can win this game and win this match. It's right within his grasp.
15 plays 19.
All he's got to do is make 6 points here. Oh, you see that bad left hand? That's the difference. If the situation was reversed, Satish would have just smashed that ball lefty right back. Satish's left is not that good. He was forced to kind of just club the ball back.
You mean Pee Wee's left?
Yes, I'm sorry. Pee Wee's left wasn't that good. But so far, it hasn't cost him anything. If he can get it done, so he's overcome that error.
15 plays 19.
Oh, yes. Great shot by Pee Wee Castro. That was excellent handball. He had Satish out of position on the left there, took the ball on a short hop, and killed it perfectly right down the right side.
Okay, Satish took the timeout. Okay, Pee Wee has 16. He's right at the doorstep of winning this game.
16 plays 19. Quiet, please. You got 2 serves. 16 plays 19.
safe on that serve. That's a great game by Pee-wee. That's a bad shot to miss. It's hard to say if that was fear or he just missed. I don't know.
Yeah, well, what we do know, Joe, is that the concentration is unmistakable here as Satish prepares to serve the match point. Oh my! That was an ace serve that Pee-wee could not return. Castro's obviously disappointed that the ref didn't call a block on that serve since it was very close to Satish's feet. But that, as they say, is the way the ball bounces. Satish Shagnandan has just repeated as America's one-wall men's singles handball champion, proving once again Satish is the man to beat. And we'll be back with an interview with Satish right after this. Satish, tell us what happened in this match. What was the difference for you for victory?
Well, I started out serving really well. You know, I was really hot in the beginning with my serve, so that made it, I had a lot of easy points. And once I got a lot of easy points, it puts the pressure on my opponent to start returning better. And I think I wore him down the first game. That's why the score was a little lopsided, 21-5. The second game, I knew he was going to come out strong because he's a runner and he's very aggressive. So I just had to weather the storm, just try to return the ball. You know, when I got my serves going, that's when the whole momentum changed. And, you know, when it was tied up at 16-16, you know, the pressure was always on him because he had to come and actually win the game.
Right.
You know, I was just getting everything back, playing defensively until I got my shot, and that's when I went offensive.
What are the weapons that Pee-wee brings to the game that most concern you, that you have to be aware of?
The angle serves. He creates a lot of angle and a lot of torque with his body, you know, so he has you moving side to side, which is pretty tough on a day like this. You know, the humidity is high, it drains you, and plus he's so fast, you know. A normal killer against another player, you know, you're counting the point already. But with him, you always have to get ready for the next shot. And that's why it's so tough to play him. You know, he's aggressive, great shots. You know, he's a big guy. Even if you're trying to kill the ball and you think you're killing it properly, he's always there. So you have to be ready to just go and try to get the next shot. Even if it bounced twice, you know, at least go and try to get it.
How tough would you say this match was?
Well, the weather-wise, I think it was pretty tough. Last year we played in 85-degree weather, no humidity, you know. So I would say this is one of my top 3 tough matches that I've ever played in.
Well, it's been a great tournament for you, Satish, and we really enjoyed the spectacle you put on for us today.
Thank you.
You're a great player. Thank you.
All right.